afternoon and welcome to Midday Prime. I'm Shreya Upadhyay. In the next 60 minutes, we'll bring you updates from West Bengal and Assam, where the second phase of polling is underway. Remember, DD India is at ground zero to get you the latest information on the battle that is panning out in poll-bound states. Now, apart from this, we'll also talk about a major concern that has emerged across the country, which is that of the rising COVID-19 numbers. And of course, all the business and sports news. But before all of this, let's get you a quick look at the headlines that we are tracking at this hour. Superstar Rajinikanth to receive the 51st Dadasaheb Phalke Award. Information and Broadcasting Minister Kokrajhar made an announcement. A 5-decade-long film career would be receiving the highest honor in the cinema world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also congratulated the superstar. The next phase of vaccination in the country against COVID begins. Immunization of all people over 45 years of age begins today. So far, more than 6 crore 51 lakh doses have been administered. Voting for the second phase of assembly elections continues in Assam and West Bengal. 48.24% of the voters cast their vote for 39 seats in Assam till 1:30 p.m. while 56.18% of the voters cast their vote for 30 seats in West Bengal till 1:30 this afternoon. Campaigning at its peak in 5 poll-bound states, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held an election rally in Kokrajhar in Assam, says this election is between Mahajhoot of Mahajot and Mahavikas of NDA. PM to also hold election rallies in West Bengal. Home Minister Amit Shah holds a roadshow in Puducherry and an election rally in Tamil Nadu. BJP President JP Nadda is campaigning in Kerala, while Congress leader Rahul Gandhi will also campaign in Kerala. Finance Minister says interest rates of small savings schemes to continue as usual. Interest of PPF to remain at 7.1%, while interest rates on senior citizen savings schemes to remain at 7.4%. In international news, US President Joe Biden unveils the $2.3 trillion plan to re-engineer America's infrastructure over the next 8 years. The move, called a once-in-a-generation investment in America, plan to transform America's infrastructure. And let's begin this bulletin with the big news. Well, the prestigious 51st Dadasaheb Phalke Award will be conferred upon superstar Rajinikanth. The announcement was made by Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Kokrajhar today. The jury this year for the award includes Asha Bhosle, Subhash Ghai, Mohan Lal and Shankar Mahadevan and Biswajit Chatterjee.
India every year gives Dadasaheb Phalke Award for a film personality. This year, this selection is made by juries. This year's jury consisted of Asha Bhosle, Mohan Lal, Biswajit Chatterjee, Shankar Mahadevan and Subhash Ghai. और पांचों जूरीज ने बैठक करके एक राय से महान नायक रजनीकांत को दादा साहब फाल्के अवार्ड देने की सिफारिश की और इसलिए उनके नाम का ये पुरस्कार घोषित हो रहा है.
But remember, the Dadasaheb Phalke is awarded for excellence in cinematic achievement. It is the highest honor in film and is awarded by the government. The INB minister said that the award is important because Dadasaheb Phalke was the first in India to make the film Raja Harish Chandra. It was after the death of Dadasaheb Phalke that this award was kept under his name and has been given 50 times till date.
साहब फाल्के ने पहला भारतीय सिनेमा 1913 में 108 साल पहले राजा हरिश्चंद्र बनाया था। तो उस राजा हरिश्चंद्र सिनेमा के बाद ये पहले चित्रपट महर्षि कहलाने लगे और दादा साहब फाल्के के मृत्यु के पश्चात ये अवार्ड उनके नाम से रखा गया और आज तक 50 बार ये अवार्ड दिया गया है, 50 साल दिया गया है। इस साल ये 51वां साल है और रजनीकांत के चयन पर निश्चित मुझे देश भर में खुशी आएगी, ये मुझे पक्का विश्वास है।
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Rajinikanth for being selected to receive the 51st Dadasaheb Phalke Award. Praising the superstar, PM Modi tweeted, and I quote, "Popular across generations, a body of work few can boast of, diverse roles and an endearing personality. That's Shri Rajinikanth ji for you. It is a matter of immense joy that Thalaiva has been conferred with the Dadasaheb Phalke Award." Unquote. Now, Rajinikanth began his film career with the Tamil film Apurva Ragangal in 1975. The movie was directed by K. Balachandar. He received his first Filmfare Award for his movie Nalavannuku Nallavan in 1984. He was honoured with the Padma Bhushan in 2000 and Padma Vibhushan in 2016. He was also honoured with the Icon of Golden Jubilee Award at the 50th International Film Festival of India. Now, his first positive role was in S.P. Muthu Raman's Bhuvana Oru Kellivukuri, and after this, he collaborated with director Muthu Raman in 25 movies. Now, remember, Rajinikanth's first big commercial success was Billa, which was a remake of the 1978 Amitabh Bachchan starrer Dawn. Mundru Mugam had Rajni playing a triple role for the first time. It earned him a Best Actor award from the Tamil Nadu government. Now, T. Ramarao's Andha Kanun was Rajinikanth's first Bollywood film. In 1985, the superstar completed 100 films and played the role of a Hindu saint, Raghavendra Swami, in the movie Sri Raghavendra. In 1988, Rajinikanth made an appearance in the English action adventure Bloodstone. Rajinikanth, remember, worked with noted director Mani Ratnam for the first and only time in Thalapathy, which was his only film that was released by the censor board with a UA certificate. Rajinikanth was named by Forbes India as the most influential Indian of 2010. He was also named one of the most influential people in Asia by Asia Week. Now, Rajinikanth turned producer with the film Maviran. He is one of the few actors who covers losses of his distributors when his films fail. His style of flipping that cigarette in the film Mundru Muddichu made him popular among the audiences. And since Rajinikanth got awarded with the most coveted award, which is Dadasaheb Phalke Award, here are some excerpts from the interview which he gave to DD News in 2019, wherein he thanked his fans and the film fraternity for all their support and said that all he has achieved in life is credited to his parents.
From that humble beginning, what I am today, all credit goes to actually first my parents and God's blessings and the film fraternity. Yes, all these my producers, directors, and especially my fans who are loving me from the beginning till today.
And to watch that full interview, do tune in at 3 p.m. today on DD India, where you can catch Rajinikanth talking about his films and career. All right, my colleague Jaya is joining us with more on this. Jaya, good afternoon to you. You know, India's very own beloved Thalaiva being honoured by the government of India with one of the highest honours for film personalities, the Dadasaheb Phalke Award. Really a matter of, happiness and gratitude, not just for him, but his fans across the world.
Definitely, Shreya, good afternoon. It's indeed a proud moment for Thalaiva fans to see him being coveted, he's honoured with Dadasaheb Phalke Award. It was like holy 1975 when the legendary director K. Balachandran changed the name of an unknown actor from Shivaji Rao Gaikwad to Rajinikanth. Rest is history. Today, Rajinikanth is honored with the most prestigious Dadasaheb Phalke Award, and there's happy tears after more than 3 months. Thalaiva Rajinikanth witnesses a grand online celebration. The Twitter is abuzz with politicians, actors cutting across length and breadth, along with movie star fan clubs celebrating this announcement. Legends like Dr. Rajkumar, Akineni Nageshwar Rao, K. Balachandran have been awarded before, and Rajinikanth is the 12th South Indian to get this award. Second actor from South after Shivaji Ganeshan to bag the coveted prize. And not many know. There are a lot of trivia, a lot of records associated with Rajinikanth. Rajinikanth is the second highest grossing actor of the Tamil industry after N.G. Ramachandran. And 51st Dadasaheb Phalke Award will be conferred on May 3rd, 2021, along with the distribution of the National Film Awards 2019 to Rajinikanth. Indeed, it will be a proud moment for crores of fans of Rajinikanth, which are not in India, but all over the world. And as soon as the news came out, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took to his Twitter handle to congratulate the superstar. And he said about him that he's popular across generations and a body of work few can boast of, diverse roles and an endearing personality. That's Sri Rajinikanth for us. And it's a matter of immense joy that Thalaiva has been conferred with the Dadasaheb Phalke Award, and a lot of congratulations to him. Recently has completed around 5 decades in the Indian film industry and has bagged several awards, as we have mentioned, including Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan. But getting a Dadasaheb Phalke Award is like a dream come true for the personality also, because as we know, the Dadasaheb Phalke Award is India's highest award in cinema. It is presented annually at the National Film Awards ceremony by Directorate of Film Festivals. And this award was decided by a jury consisting of singer Asha Bhosle, director Subhash Ghai, actor Mohan Lal, singer and music director Shankar Mahadevan, and actor Biswajit Chatterjee, and it was a unanimous decision to choose Rajinikanth. Last person to receive the award was Amitabh Bachchan in 2018. And
absolutely, Jaya.
Definitely, yes, Shreya.
You know, Jaya, for decades now, we've seen Rajinikanth being this, grand old man in the southern film industry. He's almost worshipped by his fans. Now also in, towards the northern part of the country as well. And we've seen how he's revered, he's loved, he's respected by his fans. But, beyond that image of a grand actor on screen, he's also always had this personal relationship with his fans. Beyond, like you said, Shivaji Rao is what he is originally named as. I would like you to talk a little about the person that Rajinikanth is, and how his fans have perceived him over decades beyond the image that he has on screen.
Definitely, Shreya, that's a mystery, that how he began his career in 1975, and this year in 2021 we're waiting for his new movie, which the actor will be seen in an action drama film titled Anate. The film is directed by Siva. At this age also, he's coming back on screen in an action avatar. The kind of aura, the kind of mystery he has in his personality, that is beyond our understanding. The kind of films he has been starred, not in South Indian cinema, but across Bollywood, across different languages. He has ventured into few of international ventures also. And the way he conducts himself, just to catch a glimpse of Rajinikanth, the kind of a fan frenzy is surrounded around him. The kind of a connect he has with his fan. He speaks very little, but the way he connects with his fan, his style, his andaz, his dialogue delivery, his action persona, the kind of filmmaking, the kind of films he featured in, the way he conducts himself, the way he speaks to his fans, the way he addresses them, he straight away connects with them. His simplicity, his humbleness, his honesty reflects in his eyes. That's why in this age also, nobody can match his energy, nobody can match his mannerism, the way he's known as living legends. He is known as the most super stylish icon of the film industry. And across generations, across languages, he has featured in beautiful films, very powerful roles, and the roles which really loved by his fans. Because in India, we love our cinema. We are very sentimental and emotional about our cinema. We really worship our actors, and he has truly been that kind of a superstar, which has
Absolutely.
maintained that superstardom, and the kind of connect he has with his fan, because one incident you mentioned where he actually went returned the money of his distributors,
Yes.
because he said that this film industry is my family, and we know that crores of people depend for their livelihood on this film industry.
Right.
And there are a lot of expectations from Rajinikanth's film. The film featured little less than the expectations, but Rajinikanth came to the rescue and says, I cannot let my people suffer,
Yes.
and I cannot let them encourage a bit of loss also, and then he contributed towards their loss. And the kind of fan following, the
Right.
worship he follows, I think it's going to increase after he gets this coveted prize.
Absolutely, you know, that charisma, that magnetism and that craft of acting on the silver screen being honored by the government of India, with Rajinikanth being honored with the Dadasaheb Phalke Award. Jaya, thanks very much for joining us with those inputs on Rajinikanth's big day today. All right, let's now move on to our developing story. Well, India's largest vaccination drive has entered its next phase today. The central government has opened up COVID-19 vaccination for all eligible citizens above 45 years of age, born before 1st of January 1977. Now, experts have appealed to citizens to get vaccinated without any hesitancy. The vaccination of COVID-19 in the country so far have crossed 6.51 crore. A total of 6 crore 51 lakh 17,896 doses of vaccines have been given so far. A total of 20 lakh 63,543 vaccine doses were given on Wednesday itself. And for more on this, I'm joined by my colleagues Meghna from Delhi and Shyama from Mumbai. I'll come to you first, Shyama, where you are in Mumbai in Maharashtra, and we know that Maharashtra has been one of the worst sufferers of COVID-19. But in terms of the next phase of the vaccination drive starting today, what's the latest on ground? I'm sure people are coming out and getting vaccinated.
Well, definitely, people are very enthusiastic about the fact that the barrier of comorbidity is now not there, and we did see in the morning. Usually the timing of the vaccination which begins is of 9 a.m. and before that only people in huge number of crowd had already gathered at Sion Hospital, where we are here right now. But then they were given the tokens and then they were managed. We are here at Sion Hospital, which is having which attracts a large number of crowd for vaccination, and that is why it is divided into 3 waiting areas. The area which you can see behind me is currently the area which is the area where people have already taken their shots and they are waiting in the observation room. So yes, a lot of people have already come here, and throughout as the day goes, we may expect a large number of people, because this age group is the age group where people are working and they would be having the time out from their working daily jobs, and then they would be coming here. Apart from this, we already know for the fact that Maharashtra was the first state to have crossed 5 million vaccinations, and now Maharashtra has crossed more than 6 million vaccinations, and we are hoping that with the new addition of 45 years plus age group, Maharashtra can actually achieve the target of 4 lakh people every day, inoculating 4 lakh people. But yes, definitely, currently we are seeing, an achievement of 2,50,000 people, 2,70,000 people. This is the, sort of average that Maharashtra is seeing each day. And we really need to ramp up the entire process, because Maharashtra is one state, as you've already mentioned, that the worst sufferers and also registering the highest number of cases in all of India. And yesterday also we saw more than 39,000 cases were registered in Maharashtra, and close to 6,000 cases in Mumbai alone. So yes, the cities are the ones which need to ramp up their entire vaccination process, and people need to be more aware and more responsible, that they should be coming forward and get themselves inoculated to protect, in order to protect themselves and the others around.
Absolutely. Coming to Meghna, in the past phases, we did see Delhiites coming out in large numbers and getting themselves inoculated. Today, what is the scenario? I'm sure there are a lot of people who are, coming out today as well to get themselves vaccinated and be responsible.
Undoubtedly. Yes, Shreya, undoubtedly Delhiites are coming out to get themselves inoculated, and when now it is for people 45 years and above, definitely there will be more people who will be coming in to get themselves inoculated. I have Dr. K.K. Sethi with me. I am currently at the Delhi Heart and Lung Institute, and a quick word from you, Doctor. What do you think, now it has, the inoculation will be done for people who are 45 and above. So is it going to ramp up the process, and what preparations have you done for the logistics or the manpower?
Well, this is a very welcome step that we are going to vaccinate people above the age of 45, because that will increase the coverage of the vaccination. And we have made all arrangements with our staff and the availability of the vaccine and everything else, which will be required to meet up for this challenge.
So there also, Shreya, to quickly tell you, this is the beneficiary card which is being given here at this institute. When people are coming here and registering themselves,
Right.
this has the serial number, then this has the date of vaccination, when the person has got vaccinated. So the date is written, after that the name of the vaccination center, name of the beneficiary. Currently there is the lunch time, so 45 minutes of lunch break is there.
Right.
And I also have somebody who is waiting to get his dose. The second dose, if I'm right, this is your second dose that you have come for. How has been the experience? After how many days have you come?
Well, the first dose was on the 4th of March. There was no reaction, means I didn't have any fever or cough or nothing like that, no headache even. I've been all right all these 4 weeks. Then I got a message.
To show you the message, Shreya, this is the message that the person has got, the beneficiary has got. So this states that your vaccination second dose is due on 1/4/2021. Please schedule an appointment on cowin.gov.in. So these kind of messages the people are getting to get their second dose of vaccine, and also following the COVID appropriate behavior even after you get vaccinated.
Oh yes, you have to. I think everybody has to follow that.
And I'm
The
sure
mask
Meghna
is a
is
must.
also...
You have to keep yourself clean, and obviously washing of the hands and sanitization, that is a must. That has to continue.
And I'm
Absolutely.
sure
Yes,
he's
Shreya.
also encouraging the younger people around him to actually not get complacent and, wait for their turn to get vaccinated. Shyama, coming to you, you have been covering the COVID-19 updates in Maharashtra, in Mumbai specifically. What about this, rising numbers of COVID-19 that we have seen in the past few days? What are the doctors saying? We know that Maharashtra in particular has the kind of weather that does encourage the virus being spread across more as compared to other states. But apart from this, have people got complacent, or what is it? What are the doctors saying is the reason?
Apart from the weather climatic condition that we are seeing here, because of late we are seeing the rising temperature, and just a few days back, Maharashtra at this particular time has already crossed the 40-degree temperature, and this is not good for the the spread of the virus. So that is actually helping the spread of the virus. Apart from that, the careless attitude of people is another major reason why people are getting infected easily, because you see the crowded bazaars, you see areas where establishments like the restaurants and theaters are there. Earlier, which all the restrictions we were following, people are not following that, and that is the reason why people are getting more infections. And every day we are seeing, somebody close to the area or somebody close to the family is saying that he is COVID positive, she is COVID positive, because of the fact that earlier all the COVID appropriate behavior which was followed, now that has all gone. We don't the people who are becoming careless, they don't wash their hands regularly at regular intervals, they don't sanitize the things that they are buying from outside, going in crowded places, spending more time in crowded places. These are the reasons why the infection is spreading from one place to another. Apart from the fact that the Maharashtra's the particular area like the Vidarbha areas and the municipal corporations like the Mumbai, Nagpur, Pune, Pimpri Chinchwad are the areas where you cannot actually control the crowd, be it for the reasons of traveling, be it reasons of work. These are the areas, and these are the reasons why one infection spreads to many people, and then those many people, you can imagine and calculate how that tree of infection would be spreading all over the city, all over the place. And this is the reason why huge numbers are being registered every day. Lately, we've seen people playing Holi with them, with their families or with their friends in their colonies or elsewhere. And this could be another factor why, for which after a week's time, we could see a jump in number again when the positive numbers are being reported.
Right. So one of the most important points coming out of there is, of course, that as people who have been vaccinated, or if you haven't been vaccinated, the moot point is that you still have to follow COVID appropriate behavior. You have to wash your hands, you have to wear your mask properly, and you have to maintain distance from the other person. Meghna Dev from Delhi and Shama Mishra from Mumbai, thank you very much, ladies, for joining us with those inputs on the next phase of vaccination drive that India has begun. Moving on, the third phase of vaccination has started, like we told you, with a lot of enthusiasm. Now in Kerala's Thiruvananthapuram, almost 500 people aged 45 and above have already registered for their first dose of vaccination. Here's a report from our correspondent taking stock of the vaccination program in a government medical center in Thiruvananthapuram.
1st April 2021 and India enters a crucial phase in its fight against COVID-19. In order to fight the pandemic, India has opened vaccination facility to all the citizens above 45 years of age, irrespective of whether they have comorbidities or not. Anyone above 45 years can come and get himself or herself vaccinated. At the government centers, it is absolutely free of cost. We are here at the General Hospital in Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala, one of the states which is battling a spike in the COVID cases. And in this General Hospital, there are 2 sessions which are run simultaneously for the registration of citizens, and both the lines are quite busy, as we can see. And after the registration, the citizens are administered Covishield vaccine. For today, for the 1st of April, around 500 people have already registered online to avail the vaccine, and few are being administered the vaccine here in the General Hospital. The entire program is now thrown open to all the citizens, and people are enthusiastically participating in the vaccine program. These people have already taken the vaccine in the morning. They are there in the observation room. They'll stay here for 30 minutes at least after taking the jab, and then they'll be allowed to go home. So the vaccination being thrown open to all the citizens above 45 years is gaining momentum with each passing hour, we can say. And the government, the state governments, all are putting all the efforts together to see that maximum citizens get themselves vaccinated and strengthen the fight against COVID-19 pandemic in India. With cameraman Janardhan Raja, Ravidhiman, DD India, Thiruvananthapuram.
Well, let's now take a look at the COVID-19 updates from across the country. As per the Health Ministry, 40,382 recoveries were recorded in the last 24 hours, taking the cumulative total of recovered patients to 1,14,74,683. Now, with this, the recovery rate currently stands at 94.11%. India's total active caseload stands at over 5.84 lakh today. The country's present active caseload consists of 4.55% of the total positive cases. The fatality rate stands at 1.34%. And after that, let's move on to our national crime segment. Okay, now in Midday Prime, let's look at news from various poll-bound states. Remember, voting for the second phase of assembly elections in Assam is underway. All the necessary arrangements have been put in place. In Assam, 345 candidates, including 26 women, are in fray for 39 assembly constituencies spread over 13 districts. Over 73.44 lakh voters, including 36.9 lakh women and 135 third-gender persons, will decide the fate of these candidates. My colleague Kamal Bora is joining us for the latest from Morigaon. Good afternoon, Kamal. What's the latest on ground? Assam going in for the second phase of assembly elections, 39 seats there. What's the latest?
So let me start with the polling percentage so far till it must have crossed more than 50% so far, because till 1 o'clock the report came in from the published by election department. It was about 48.26% at 1 o'clock, but from that time more than 1.5 hour has passed on, so it must have crossed more than 50%, and we have seen a huge crowd in the morning in each and every polling stations across this 39 constituency. It's quite obvious that people used to come in the morning. The most of the people like to actually cast vote in the morning time, and though it's a very less crowd right now, but people are coming slowly. So by the evening till end of the polling time, it's 6 o'clock. It we are expecting that this will cross more than 85%. So this and we have not been reported any untoward incident from any constituency so far, except 2 or 3 small incidents. So it's going on smoothly and peacefully. Right now I am at Jagirut constituency. This is the Jagirut college, and this is all. It comes from the Jagirut constituency. 4 candidates are in the fray, and 1 heavyweight candidate is Piyush Hazarika, who happens to be the Minister of State for the Health Department in Assam. He seems to be very confident to win this election once again. At the same time, the Congress has also thrown a very popular candidate. In fact, he has he's fighting this election for the first time, but he has also good popularity in this constituency. He's Sapan Mandal. So it's gonna be a straight fight between Congress and BJP. Definitely, we can come to know on 2nd May only who will have the last laugh, but still it's going to be a tough fight for both the parties. As far as the other constituencies concerned, yes, it's happening, it's going on smoothly and peacefully. And let me tell you about Borak Valley. Borak Valley also, a 15 constituency, there are poll is going on. This is going to be a very crucial one for the BJP also, because in 2006, before 2016, it was a stronghold for Congress and AIUDF, and this time both these parties are fighting this election together, making alliance. And BJP, who own 8 seats out of 15 seats in 2016, they are also trying hard to capture to increase the number there in Borak Valley also. So definitely we have seen high voltage campaign in all over the state. We have so far.
Yes.
Central leaders, they were visiting Borak Valley along with other constituencies also. So BJP, they have a mission there to win 100+ seats out of 126. So they are going in that direction only. They are leaving no stone unturned so far. So definitely Congress is also putting efforts in this regard. Definitely we'll come to know on 2nd May only who will have the last laugh.
Absolutely, we'll have to see how that battle pans out. Thanks very much, Kamal Bora, for joining us from Assam. Now, voting for the second phase of assembly elections in West Bengal is also taking place today. 30 seats spread over 4 districts are going to poll in this phase. Polling is being held on 9 seats each in East and West Mednipur, 8 seats in Bankura and 4 seats in South 24 Parganas. Now, the state is witnessing an 8-phase election this time. Over 75,94,000 electors will decide the fate of 171 candidates, including the heavyweights in the second phase. A total of 10,620 polling stations have been set up for the second phase in the state. My colleague Prasenjit is joining us from Kolkata with more updates. Good afternoon, Prasenjit. The high-pitched battle witnessed there for the second phase also in West Bengal. But more so, of course, Nandigram takes the cake when it comes to, the focus being there on the second phase. How is the battle panning out there? What's the latest situation?
Look, obviously out of 30, the entire concentration is on Nandigram. So it seems that the other 29 seats are unattended. But at the same time, I must say that Bankura and South 24 Pargana polling in these 2 districts are going on in a very normal manner. No information of incidents or any violence has come up. But in Nandigram and in West Mednapur, that is a place called Kashipur, that is an assembly constituency called Keshpur, beg your pardon, Keshpur. These are the 2 places where some incidents of violence have taken place. In Nandigram, if I say that the contestant Miss Mamta Banerjee, the Trinamool Congress Supremo, she was at her home, their makeshift home in Nandigram till 1:30 p.m. She came out at 1:30 p.m. and started visiting different polling stations. At the same time, Shubhendu Adhikari, since morning, he casted his own vote at Nandigram. He has become the first voter of Nandigram. And then he started roaming around all the polling stations. But once Mamta Banerjee came out, certain amount of what should I say, that commotion, certain amount of tensions has grown up, and Trinamool and BJP workers, they have had a small commotions in certain places, and the media workers who are following Shubhendu Adhikari, their car was attacked by some miscreants. Shubhendu, when it is claiming that it is the work of Trinamool Congress anti-socials, and on the other hand, in Keshpur also, the local BJP candidate, his car was vandalized, car of several media persons also vandalized. So these are the two major incidents happened. Otherwise, poll is going on peacefully in other parts of Western Midnapur, other parts of East Midnapur, Bankura and South 24 Parganas. Shreya.
All right, Prasenjit, you keep an eye on that situation, and we'll keep coming back to you for the latest from West Bengal. So, incidents that have been reported, violent incidents that have been reported during the second phase of assembly elections in West Bengal. And one of the segments, of course, which we don't celebrate or we don't honor much, are our security personnel who are right there to tackle any violent situation and tighten the security situation there. And of course, we always see visuals during elections of them helping the elderly or the differently able to come and cast their vote and exercise their franchisee. All right, Prasenjit, thanks very much for getting us all those updates from West Bengal. Well, campaigning has picked up for the next phase of assembly elections in poll-bound states. Addressing an election rally at Kokrajhar in Assam, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that this assembly election is between those who have been misleading people and those who are working for the development of Assam.
ये चुनाव महाजोत के महाझूठ और डबल इंजन के महाविकास के बीच है। कांग्रेस ने हमारे सत्रों, हमारे नामघरों को अवैध कब्जा गिरोहों के हवाले किया। एनडीए ने उन्हें मुक्त किया। कांग्रेस ने बराक, ब्रह्मपुत्र, पहाड़, मैदान सबको भड़काया, अंदर अंदर टकराव करवाया। एनडीए ने इनको विकास के सेतु से जोड़ा है, दिलों को दिलों से भी जोड़ा है।
Well, in his rally, Prime Minister also said that the NDA is committed to help all those who have left the gun and joined the mainstream. He appealed to all extremists to shun violence and come forward for peace and development of the state.
लंबे समय के बाद असम में शांति लौटी है। जो साथी बंदूक छोड़कर लौटे हैं, उनकी हर संभव सहायता के लिए एनडीए सरकार प्रतिबद्ध है। अभी भी जो साथी नहीं लौटे हैं, उनसे भी मेरा आग्रह है कि शांति और विकास के इस मिशन से आप भी जुड़ जाइए।
Well, in other news about elections, the Election Commission has issued a show-cause notice to BJP leader Himanta Biswa Sarma for allegedly making threatening remarks against Bodoland People's Front leader Hagrama Mohilari. The Congress's central leadership had petitioned the Election Commission seeking a blanket ban on the election campaign of Assam Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. The BPF is a component of the Congress-led 10-party Grand Alliance of the opposition. Union Home Minister Amit Shah today held a roadshow in Lospet constituency at Saminathan in Puducherry. The assembly elections in the Union territory will be held on April 6th and the counting of votes will be taken up on the 2nd of May. Now, Union Minister and BJP leader Amit Shah also addressed an election rally in Tamil Nadu today, wherein he said that the DMK and Congress have become synonymous with corruption and plunder. The assembly elections in the state will be held on April 6th.
हम सब लोग DMK और कांग्रेस पार्टी को अच्छे से जानते हैं। DMK और कांग्रेस का मतलब है भ्रष्टाचार, गुंडागर्दी, जमीन हड़पना और अपने बेटे बेटियों को आगे बढ़ाना, जनता की चिंता नहीं करना, यही डीएमके और कांग्रेस का रास्ता है।
Meanwhile, Union Minister and BJP National President JP Nadda today held a roadshow at Attingal in Kerala. Polling for the 140-seat Kerala Legislative Assembly is scheduled to take place on the 6th of April, and voting in the state will be held in a single phase. DMK President M.K. Stalin today addressed a public rally in Mettupalayam in Tamil Nadu. The leader interacted with the people as the poll-bound state gears up for elections. Tamil Nadu elections are scheduled to be held on the 6th of April, while counting of votes will take place on the 2nd of May. Moving on, the major Hindu pilgrimage festival Kumbh Mela has begun today amid all the COVID preventive measures. The festival will conclude on 30th of April. Remember, the Kumbh Mela attracts lakhs of people to sacred river bank sites in Haridwar and Allahabad. In Uttarakhand, devotees took the holy dip at Har Ki Pauri Ghat in Haridwar. COVID testing kiosks have been set up by the administration at the borders of the state to test those coming from outside. Remember, coronavirus tests and other restrictions upon entering Uttarakhand have also been implemented. And after that, in Midday Prime, it's time for the news and updates from the world of business. My colleague Tanvi Taneja gets us all the latest from the world of business. Tanvi, over to you.
Thank you, Shreya. The government has withdrawn orders related to the changes in the interest rates of small savings schemes. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said interest rates on small savings schemes will continue to be at the levels as in March 2021. In a tweet, the Finance Minister said, and I quote, "Interest rates of small savings schemes of the Government of India shall continue to be at the rates which existed in the last quarter of 2020-21, that is, rates that prevailed as of March 2021. Orders issued by oversight shall be withdrawn," unquote. Earlier on Wednesday, the centre had slashed interest rates on small savings schemes such as post office deposits and public provident fund. Interest rates for small savings schemes are notified on a quarterly basis. The government has extended the last date for linking of Aadhaar number with permanent account number or PAN up to 30th of June this year in view of the difficulties arising out of the COVID-19 pandemic. Earlier, the deadline to link PAN with Aadhaar was till yesterday. The centre had extended the deadline to 31st of March 2021 earlier from the previous deadline of 30th June 2020 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And now, let's shift our attention to the domestic stock markets. After a positive opening, the Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange has shown some volatility. So after trimming some of its initial gains, the Sensex recovered the lost ground in afternoon trade and had climbed 493 points or 1% to 50,002 a short while ago. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange had advanced 169 points or 1.2% to 14,859. The broader market posted better gains, with the BSE Mid-Cap Index advancing 1% and the Small Cap Index jumping 1.4%. The top index gainers were JSW Steel, Hindalco, Tata Steel, Adani Ports and Hero Motocorp with gains of between 2.4% and 8%. At the Multi-Commodity Exchange, gold had added 113 rupees or 0.3% to 44,750 rupees per 10 grams. Silver had gained 176 rupees or 0.3% to 63,990 rupees per kilo. Global crude oil prices rose ahead of a meeting of OPEC and its allies expected later today. Brent crude oil was up 31 cents or 0.5% to $63.05 a barrel. US crude was up 38 cents or 0.6% at $59.54 a barrel. Ministers from the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, including Russia and Kazakhstan, a group called OPEC Plus, will meet later today to consider options that include a gradual output increase. Reports suggest that the most likely outcome of the meeting is no significant change in production. So that's it in Business Prime for now. Over to you, Shreya.
Thanks very much, Tanvi, for all those updates from the world of business. And now let's have a look at what's making news across the globe. Well, US President Joe Biden on Wednesday outlined a $2.3 trillion plan to re-engineer the country's infrastructure over the next 8 years. The move is billed as a once-in-a-generation investment in America that would undo his predecessor's signature legislative achievement of giant tax cuts for corporations in the process. This is Biden's second multi-trillion-dollar legislative proposal in 2 months in office. Biden held that the goal was not to target the wealthy, but to address divisions and inequality worsened by the pandemic.
It's not a plan that tinkers around the edges. It's a once-in-a-generation investment in America, unlike anything we've seen or done since we built the interstate highway system and the space race decades ago. What I'm proposing is a one-time capital investment of roughly $2 trillion in America's future, spread largely over 8 years. It will generate historic job growth, historic economic growth, help businesses to compete internationally, create more revenue as well. They are among the highest value investments we can make in the nation, investing in our infrastructure.
Well, U.S. Special Presidential Envoy for Climate John Kerry will be visiting India for consultations on increasing climate ambition ahead of Joe Biden's Leaders' Summit on Climate. During the visit, Kerry is expected to hold talks with Environment Minister Kokrajhar and may also call on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, apart from India, Kerry is also visiting the UAE and Bangladesh between the 1st and the 9th of April. It will be Kerry's first Asia tour. The Leaders' Summit on Climate will be held on the 22nd and 23rd of April, while the 26th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change will be held later this year. In a tweet, Kerry said he's looking forward to meaningful discussions with friends in the Emirates, India and Bangladesh on how to tackle the climate crisis, unquote. Well, from US to Myanmar, where protesters on Wednesday continued to demonstrate on the streets of Yangon and southern Myanmar, despite a rising death toll due to continued military government crackdown, a group of protesters took to streets chanting and singing revolutionary songs and holding placards with photos of ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi. As per the Assistance Association for Political Prisoners, more than 500 civilians have been killed since the anti-coup protests started in the country. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Wednesday appealed to two right-wing rivals to come back home and align themselves with him again to break a deadlock following last week's inconclusive election. The final tally in Israel's fourth election in 2 years gave Netanyahu's conservative Likud party and kindred factions 52 seats in the 120-member parliament. A potential opposition bloc also was short of a governing majority with 57 seats. Now, Israeli President Reuven Rivlin, who has been tasked by law to choose a candidate to try to form a government, will begin meeting with political parties on Monday to hear their recommendations. He has said he will pick a candidate by the 7th of April. All right, let's now take a look at the updates on the COVID-19 numbers from across the world. More than 12 crore 94 lakh people worldwide have contracted COVID-19 so far, while over 10 crore 44 lakh have recovered from the virus. The deadly virus has so far claimed more than 28,28,000 lives globally, and the United States, of course, remains the worst affected country by coronavirus. The country has reported more than 3.11 lakh COVID-19 cases. 5,65,000 deaths have been reported in United States so far. Europe's medicines regulator has said it has not identified any risk factors such as age, sex or a previous history of blood clotting disorders for clotting cases reported after inoculation with AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine. The European Medicines Agency's statement comes after several countries, including Canada, Germany, France and Spain, limited the use of the drug maker's shot to certain populations at high risk, including older people and essential workers. Now, the EMA reiterated that the vaccine's benefits outweigh the risks, but cautioned that people should be aware of the remote possibility of rare blood clots occurring and must seek immediate medical attention in the case of symptoms. Investigations by the European regulator and several other national authorities are underway after initial probes deemed the vaccine safe for use following hospitalizations with clots, including rare ones in the brain, bleeding and low platelets. EMA Chief Emma Cook is expected to brief the media later in the day on the investigation so far.
A causal link with the vaccine has not yet been proven, but it is possible and further analysis is still ongoing. According to the current scientific knowledge, there is no evidence that would support restricting the use of this vaccine in any population. Our committee, Prague, continues to review all the data available and will aim to reach a scientific conclusion on this signal next week.
All right, now it's time for all the updates from the world of sports. Well, my colleague Abhishek Mahajan is getting us all the excitement from the world of sports. Over to you, Abhishek.
Right, Shreya, a lot of stories coming in the field of sports. Let's start with cricket. Former India skipper Mohammad Azharuddin feels wicketkeeper batsman Rishabh Pant might be a front runner for the national team captaincy in the years ahead. After impressive performances against Australia and England in the last few months, Pant was on Monday announced the captain of his IPL franchise. Azharuddin, who played 334 ODIs and 99 tests for India on Wednesday, said he won't be surprised if selectors see Pant as an option for Indian captaincy in the near future. Right, some football news now. Germany lost a World Cup qualifying football game for the first time in 20 years on Wednesday as the 2014 champions were beaten 2-1 by North Macedonia. Germany levelled after Goran Pandev's opening goal in first half stoppage time, but had no answer to Eljif Elmas' 85th minute winner for North Macedonia, who moved above Germany into second place in Group J. Pandev opened the scoring when Germany's defence completely lost track. However, IK Gundogan equalized from the penalty spot in the 63rd minute after Leroy Sané was brought down by Alioski. But North Macedonia, ranked 65th in the world, snatched victory with 5 minutes remaining when Elmas struck from close range. Chelsea forward Timo Werner missed a glorious chance to score for Joachim Löw's side before North Macedonia's winner, but somehow fired wide from close range. Next story now, Spain got their World Cup qualifying campaign back on solid ground after cantering to a leisurely 2-0 victory over Kosovo on Wednesday. However, goalkeeper Unai Simon had a night to forget, committing a tremendous blunder far from his area to cost his side a goal. Spain looked in total control and played with purpose, but they allowed Kosovo back into the game in the 70th minute when Simon lost the ball after rushing out of his box and Besar Halimi ruthlessly pounced and scored from a distance with just Kosovo's second shot of the match. Olmo gave Spain a deserved lead in the 34th minute with a delicate chip. The home side promptly restored their 2-goal cushion 5 minutes later, though thanks to a header from Gerard Moreno, and saw out the win to move top of Group B with 7 points after 3 games. Harry Maguire's late winner made it a maximum 9 points from 3 World Cup 2022 qualifiers for England as they overcame Poland 2-1 at Wembley. Poland presented a much sterner test than the formalities against San Marino, and Albania, it looked like England would have to settle for a point until Maguire struck 5 minutes from time. England's impressive first half brought a deserved lead when Harry Kane scored his 34th international goal from the penalty spot in the 19th minute, following Michael Helik's challenge on Raheem Sterling. However, the Three Lions were pegged back after John Stones' blunder allowed Jakub Moder to equalise. Stones redeemed himself by setting up centre-back partner Harry Maguire to score the winner late on. On to tennis now. World number 2 Naomi Osaka's 23-match winning run came to an abrupt end as she lost 6-0, 6-4 to Maria Sakkari in Miami Open quarterfinals. Japan's Osaka was stunned by the Greek 23rd seed's aggressive start, making 12 unforced errors and not landing one winner in a 21-minute opening set. Osaka hid under a towel as she tried to compose herself and fought back to lead 3-0 in the second set. But Sakkari, from 4-1 down, broke twice to win 5 games in a row for victory. Sakkari celebrated with a loud roar as she earned the biggest win of her career, triumphantly hugging her team after beating a player ranked in the world's top 3 for the first time. Well, that's